of you may be familiar with the old Pogo cartoon, especially the classic one where Pogo said, "We have met the enemy, and he is us." And then there's the old Shakespearean quote, "The fault, dear Brutus, lies not in our stars, but in ourselves." And then there's the old Beetle Bailey cartoon, where Plato says, in a democracy, or it's supposed to be a constitutional republic, but people get the kind of government they deserve. And if you don't like it now, wait a while and you'll get one you like even less. That is America in 2016. This, ladies and gentlemen, as Jim Garrity pointed out on Friday, is the post-reality election. When did candidates start insisting that the obvious truth wasn't true? When we demanded that they do so. I mean, we as in all Hillary and Trump supporters, not never Trump. Our hands are clean. Squeaky clean. Now, one more of the surreal things about the 2016 campaign is the frequency with which the candidates insist that the reality we're seeing and hearing is false, asking us to believe them and not our own eyes and ears. I understand, this is in the era and the age of YouTube. The miracle of digital video and audio, where once it's on the net, it's there forever. Your cyber footprint, if you will. In November, last November, Donald Trump promised to create a deportation force. I wonder what the logo for that would have been. I don't think I even want to speculate. To deal with the country's 30 million illegal aliens if he was elected president. "They're going back where they came from," he declared. Well, fast forward to this past Wednesday night, in an interview with Fox News' Sean Hannity, he indicated he was no longer convinced that mass deportation is necessary. "Can we go through a process, or do you think they have to get out? Tell me. I mean, I don't know." Gee, he knew 9 months ago. You Trumplicans are such dupes. Then, of course, the next day, this past Thursday morning, Trump's dutiful spokesbimbo, Katrina Pearson, insisted once again that her boss's sterling consistency was being misinterpreted. There's not a different message. He's using different words. That's what she actually said. I think it was CNN. Everyone saw and heard Trump's words. The age of YouTube, remember? Everyone who reacted was surprised, really shouldn't have been surprised, but I digress, understood what all of the words in his sentences meant. Trump did not speak in a foreign language, subtle code, complicated metaphors, or veiled literary illusions. The plain meaning was clear. Trump had begun to back away from a central promise of his campaign, the one that is the foundation of his campaign and put him in the position he's in now in the first place. And yet, Pearson betrayed his base. The ultimate betrayal. You have been screwed and tossed aside like a $3 whore, Trump supporters, just like we always told you you would. See, we told you so. And yet Pearson insisted that everyone around her was wrong. She denied the reality everyone had just witnessed. At the same time that Trump was dispensing his now familiar brand of truthiness to Sean Hannity's zombie audience, Hillary Clinton was seeking to assure CNN's Anderson Cooper that the complicated and shady financial dealings of her family foundation were on the up and up. Wow, that's a relief, isn't it? I was so worried there for a while. Oh, Hillary's honest after all. Whoosh. I know there's a lot of smoke, and there's no fire, she said. This was perverse, to say the least. The adage is, where there is smoke, there is fire. And that's what common sense and experience tells us. But in Mrs. Clinton's telling, smoke should not be taken as evidence of fire. It's like she's citing an ancient proverb from her own personal alternate reality. After it emerged that Melania Trump's speech at the Trumpvention had been plagiarized from a speech by Michelle Obama, this would constitute a thief stealing from another thief, and they're both Democrats. The Trump campaign denied the charge, even though several sections were word for word identical. It's on bleeping YouTube. In fact, that's where they got it from, because that Michelle Obama convention speech from 8 years ago is also on YouTube. For days, they insisted the overlap, the word for word verbatim overlap, was coincidental. I mean, what would it have hurt Melania Trump to say, as the First Lady said 8 years ago at the Democrat convention, ... Oh, maybe that wouldn't have gone over so well at an ostensibly Republican convention. And yet, it's on YouTube. To think that she would be cribbing Michelle Obama's words is crazy, Paul Manafort said. A few days later, Meredith MacIver, a speechwriter for the Trump Organization, said she had accidentally included the plagiarized material after Melania Trump read aloud sections of Mrs. Obama's speech over the phone. Yeah, total accident. Why, I don't know what happened. I mean, the pen was in my hand, and all of a sudden, the First Lady's words were just on my pad. What could I do? I had to go with it. Those who believed Trump's speech had been plagiarized, Mrs. Trump, weren't crazy. They merely recognized the reality of the situation, while the Trump camp asked surrogates and supporters to deny it, knowing that Trump's zombie supporters would go, yeah! Meanwhile, Mrs. Clinton keeps telling audiences something along the lines of, as the FBI said, everything that I've said publicly has been consistent and truthful with what I've told them. Most of us watched FBI Director James Comey's press conference, in which he made clear what she'd spent months denying. Her emails contained classified information. Anyone who has followed Emailgate at all knows this isn't true. Most of us watched FBI Director James Comey's press conference, in which he made clear what she had spent months denying. Her emails contained classified information. Earlier this month, as questions about the Clinton Foundation grew more urgent, the campaign deployed former Michigan Governor Jennifer Granholm to CNN to insist, quote, she has abided by the ethics agreement she signed at the beginning of her time in charge at Foggy Bottom. Except that under the ethics agreement, the Clinton Foundation promised to get state commissariat approval for any financial donation from a country that had not donated before. And then forgot to check on a $500,000 donation from Algeria in 2010. An ethics agreement doesn't matter if the parties can just ignore or conveniently forget it. In this election cycle, the quickest way to success is to offer a fanciful alternate reality, free of trade-offs, free of compromises, free of costs, and free of consequences. The candidates themselves deserve plenty of blame for this new normal, but deep down, their habits reflect the electorate's desires. On the whole, American voters choose to avert their eyes from difficult realities, refusing to make difficult choices and always picking the candidate who tells them they can have the best of both worlds.
I am Locutus of Borg. Resistance is futile. Your life, as it has been, is over. From this time forward, you will service us.
Or in less graphic terms, telling the electorate everything their itching ears want to hear. Like, we want to defeat ISIS, but avoid war. We want a safer, more stable, less dangerous world, and we want our troops to come home. We want a health insurance system that gives everybody the best care for the doctor or from the doctor of his or her choice, and we want that care to be dirt cheap, if not completely free. We want the minimum wage to be higher, and we want more opportunities for new workers to get entry-level jobs. We want to enjoy buying all of the cheaper goods imported from overseas, even as we rail against the loss of American jobs to foreign competition. We want to eat anything we want, as much as we want, and not gain an ounce. I used to be able to do that once, and then eventually I wound up in the hospital, so draw your own conclusions. I describe that as childhood's end. Hint, hint. We are so adamant in our desire to have everything both ways that we lash out at those who tell us it isn't possible. And I mean, this is why the Democrats rule the country. And that's why they've taken over both parties now. I mean, it's easy to see how it might behoove politicians to pretend that we're right, that we can have it all, that there are no trade-offs, that life is easy. Don't like what you just heard or learned? Insist it's a lie. Or, as many Trump supporter has said to me, that's BS! Insist it's taken out of context. Insist the source isn't trustworthy. Choose to believe your own alternate reality. Who knew there were so many adherents to the many worlds hypothesis of temporal physics? It's like the 2016 election is a real-life episode of Sliders. Yeah, you remember that 20 years ago. One of the Fox networks first originally created television programs. Remember Jerry O'Donnell? I can't remember Clevin Derricks was Rembrandt Crying Man Brown, and then of course John Rhys Davies is Professor Maximilian Arturo, and Sabrina Lloyd as Wade Wells. Yeah, there. Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad for a 52-year-old brain, just picking it out on the fly. You know what? It's a lot easier to live in denial, but we'll all regret it later.